Ever wonder why the weather seems so unpredictable these days? Could it be a sign of something bigger? Welcome to the climate change conundrum. The term climate change has been buzzing around for a while now. But what does it really mean? Simply put, it's a long-term change in the average weather patterns that have come to define Earth's local, regional, and global climates. But wait, let's not confuse climate with weather. They might seem similar, but they're not the same. Imagine weather as your mood, changing frequently, sometimes sunny, sometimes stormy. On the other hand, climate is more like your personality, a more permanent, long-term character. It's the big picture of weather patterns over a long span of time. Now let's talk about scientists. They're a curious bunch, always asking questions, always seeking answers. And when it comes to climate change, there's a robust consensus among them. They agree that the climate is changing and that this change is largely driven by human activities. But how does this changing climate affect our weather? Well, it's a bit like adding extra weights to a pair of dice. The odds of rolling a 6 or a 1 don't disappear, but suddenly you're getting a lot more 3s and 4s. In the same way, a warmer climate doesn't eliminate all cold weather, but it does make certain types of weather events more likely. So the climate change conundrum is not about whether our climate is changing. That's a given. It's not about whether this change affects our weather. It certainly does. The conundrum is really about the why. Why is our climate changing? What's driving this transformation of our planet's weather patterns? So the question isn't if climate change is happening, but why it's happening. The Earth has a natural blanket, but it's getting thicker. What's causing this? The culprits are greenhouse gases, a collection of gases in our Earth's atmosphere that trap heat from the sun. This phenomenon is known as the greenhouse effect. Greenhouse gases are not inherently bad. In fact, they are crucial for life on Earth. They include gases like carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and even water vapor. These gases allow sunlight to enter the atmosphere while preventing some of the heat from escaping back into space. Imagine a greenhouse, where sunlight is allowed in, but the heat is trapped, keeping the plants warm even when it's cold outside. That's essentially what these gases do for our planet. They maintain a temperature that can sustain life. Without them, our planet would be as cold as Mars. However, trouble arises when the concentration of these gases increases disproportionately, leading to an enhanced greenhouse effect. The problem isn't the blanket itself, but the thickness of it. A thicker blanket means more heat gets trapped, leading to a rise in the Earth's average temperature, or global warming. Carbon dioxide, or CO2, is a significant contributor to this problem. Human activities, such as burning fossil fuels for electricity, heat, and transportation, release large amounts of CO2 into the atmosphere. Similarly, methane, another potent greenhouse gas, is released during the production and transport of coal, oil, and natural gas. It's also emitted by livestock and other agricultural practices. The issue with these gases is that they linger in the atmosphere for a long time. CO2, for instance, can stay in the atmosphere for up to 1,000 years, continually trapping heat. This is why even if we stop emitting these gases today, the Earth would continue to warm for several decades or even centuries. It seems that our Earth's blanket is becoming too thick, too fast. This intensifies the greenhouse effect, causing the Earth's temperature to rise at an unprecedented rate. The result is a changing climate, triggering severe and unpredictable weather patterns, rising sea levels, and a host of other environmental issues. Could humans be causing the Earth's blanket to thicken? It's a question that's been echoed by scientists and environmentalists alike. You see, human activities have a direct influence on the concentration of greenhouse gases in our atmosphere. Let's take burning fossil fuels, for instance. From coal to oil and natural gas, these carbon-rich resources have powered our societies for centuries. But here's the catch. When we burn fossil fuels, we release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. This carbon dioxide acts like a blanket, trapping heat and causing our planet to warm up. Now consider this. In the last 100 years or so, our reliance on fossil fuels has skyrocketed. From powering our homes and factories to fueling our cars and planes, we're burning fossil fuels at an unprecedented rate. This means that we're pumping more and more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, thickening the Earth's blanket, and consequently, heating up our planet. But that's not all. We're also chopping down our forests at an alarming rate. Why is this a problem, you ask? Well, trees are nature's own carbon dioxide absorbers. They take in carbon dioxide and give out oxygen, helping keep our atmosphere balanced. But when we cut down trees, we're not just losing these natural absorbers, we're also releasing the stored carbon back into the atmosphere when the wood is burned or decomposes. So we have a double whammy here. On one hand, we're releasing more carbon dioxide by burning fossil fuels, and on the other, we're reducing the Earth's ability to absorb this carbon dioxide by deforestation. This combination has led to a rapid rise in global temperatures in the last century, much faster than any natural climate change in the past. So the actions of humans seem to be playing a significant role in this climate change. And while it's a daunting reality, it's also a call to action. We have the power to change the course, to make choices that can help us alleviate the impact of climate change, but more on that later. For now, let's delve deeper into the consequences of our warming world. What happens when our global thermostat gets turned up? Imagine a world where coastlines are reshaped by rising sea levels, submerging cities and displacing millions. This isn't some dystopian fantasy. It's a very real possibility as the planet warms up. The polar ice caps are melting faster than ever before, causing sea levels to rise. This could lead to large parts of coastal cities like Miami, Shanghai, and even London becoming uninhabitable within this century. Now, let's turn our attention to the sky. As the Earth heats up, we're likely to see more frequent and severe weather events. Think hurricanes, droughts, heat waves, and heavy rainfall. These aren't just disastrous for the environment, they're catastrophic for human societies too. They can destroy homes, devastate agriculture, and disrupt essential services like healthcare and education. But it's not just about the weather. Climate change is also disrupting ecosystems around the world. Coral reefs, for instance, are suffering from bleaching due to increased ocean temperatures. This not only threatens the existence of these vibrant underwater worlds, but also the millions of species that rely on them for survival. And let's not forget about our food supply. Did you know that many of our staple crops, like wheat, rice, and corn, are sensitive to changes in temperature and rainfall? As the climate changes, we could see significant disruptions to agriculture, threatening food security for billions around the world. Climate change can also have indirect consequences on human health. Rising temperatures can lead to increased spread of diseases like malaria and dengue fever. Meanwhile, extreme weather events can cause mental health issues due to the stress and trauma they induce. All of these consequences interconnect in a complex web, magnifying each other and creating a domino effect that could destabilize societies in ways we can't fully predict. Clearly, the stakes are high in the face of climate change. Let's not forget, we only have one Earth. We need to protect it not just for us, but for future generations too. What can be done to slow down or reverse this climate change? This is the question that reverberates in the minds of scientists, environmentalists, and any individual aware of the impending climate crisis. The answer lies in a series of steps that we must undertake collectively, not just as nations, but as a global community. One of the most pivotal steps is reducing our greenhouse gas emissions. These gases, which include carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide, are primarily released through the burning of fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and gas. By cutting down on our reliance on these fuels, we can significantly lower our emissions. This could be achieved through energy efficiency measures, such as improving insulation in buildings and promoting cleaner modes of transport like electric vehicles or cycling. Simultaneously, we must shift our energy production to renewable sources. The sun, wind, and water are not only abundant and free, but they also do not emit harmful greenhouse gases. Harnessing these sources for our energy needs can drastically cut our carbon footprint. However, it's worth noting that these changes cannot be achieved in isolation. It necessitates a global effort, from governments implementing policies that favor renewable energy to businesses investing in green technologies and individuals making sustainable choices. Moreover, we must also focus on preserving and expanding our forests. Trees play a crucial role in absorbing carbon dioxide, thus reducing the amount of this greenhouse gas in our atmosphere. Deforestation, on the other hand, not only eliminates these natural carbon sinks, but also releases carbon dioxide when trees are burned or decompose. Lastly, we need to invest in research and development of new technologies that can capture and store carbon dioxide or even remove it from the atmosphere. The future of our climate rests in our hands. It's a challenge we must face together. By uniting our efforts and harnessing the power of science, we can pave the way towards a sustainable future and ensure the health and well-being of our precious planet.